Prosecco has to be closed with a cork. But this is a legend. This is a classic. And I'm going to open it here right now. Right here. I'm going to open it in front of the camera so that hopefully you can hear what this sounds like when it opens. So, here, listen to this. Sound on. I love that. I love that sound. It's so good. So, anyway, here. Also, look at that. And actually, also, maybe this sound will come through. The fizz. Hopefully the fizz is coming through there. Okay. So Caneva da Nani is a little family winery in Prosecco, in Valdobbiadene, which I always say Valdobbiadene is like the Chianti Classico of Prosecco. It's like the traditional heart of Prosecco. Got to switch hands off here and get dirt all over my very dirty already singlet. Oh, I forget how many hectares they have now. 12 hectares? Totally, you know, I should, instead of going running, I should actually prepare for doing these things and read about what I'm going to talk about. Anyway, I visited them. I went and I saw them. I visited them back in 2017? 2017, I think it was. And it was amazing because it's, you know, so it's this family. There's like 3 generations there. It's beautiful land. It's like this sort of southwest facing amphitheater shaped, hillside vineyards. A lot of Prosecco is flat, but then here in Valdobbiadene, it gets hillier. The land gets more interesting. And we pulled into the driveway. We rolled in, and they were there waiting for us, grilling chicken on this big grill that they'd made out of like a 55-gallon oil drum. And they just started popping bottles of Caneva da Nani, and pouring it into pitchers. And we just had pitchers and pitchers of Caneva da Nani. It's basically the only wine they make. They do make another wine. This is like 75% of their production. They make another, like, I think it's an actual, like, technically a legal real Prosecco. And that's like maybe a quarter of their production. And that's it, though. Like, that's all they do. Basically, they just make this because this is what they want to drink. Because this is what is delicious to drink outside in a driveway. And I'm basically outside in a driveway right now. It's really good. It's really, really nice. It's really, really pretty and soft. And it just takes me back to like being in a gravel driveway in the sun in northern Italy in Prosecco. Looking at these beautiful green hills and hanging out with them and eating grilled chicken. They have approximately 50-year-old vines, is what I remember from being there. They farm organically, they hand harvest. A lot of the vines are actually trellised to keep the grapes up higher off of the ground, and they feel that's really important. I'm pretty sure I remember them talking about problems with like with mildew and more dampness being down by the ground. And I also remember them saying that the DOC like is trying to get people not to use trellises anymore, to grow the grapes lower to the ground, to decrease yields. But they were saying like that's not what Glera grapes want. Like Glera grapes vines are naturally pretty productive. So they don't have high yields by any means, but like they're farming naturally. They're farming the way that like they had always been making Prosecco here. This is like what a Prosecco would have been, I don't know, a couple generations ago. It's called Van Kolff, an initial fermentation in a tank. They ferment in cement tanks with stirring on the lees. Then they bottle, and they let it finish fermentation in the bottle with a crown and with crown caps on them. And they just wait until the bottles have finished fully fermenting and are at the right pressure. It was interesting going and looking at all the bottles aging. They would have like pallets worth of bottles all stacked up all with crown caps on them. But then they'd have a few bottles here and there with, instead of a crown cap, they'd have a pressure gauge like that just clamps onto the top, so they could tell exactly like what pressure the bottles were all at. I don't know, maybe they do that everywhere, but I hadn't seen it before, and it was cool to be able to see exactly what pressure the bottles were at inside. So because it's not like disgorged or anything like that, it's cloudy. There's sediment in there. It's not really yeasty. It's not funky or anything really. It smells, oh boy, what does it smell like? It's like lemongrassy, like a little, not like herbal in a spicy aromatic way, but it's just a tiny bit sort of like grassy smelling. You know, like soft white flowers, like apple blossoms. It's pretty. It's a very pretty aroma. On the palate, it's a very smooth, like very, very fine effervescence like you saw. Like just a little prickly and frothy. It's like a bottle conditioned ale, really. It's like the best way I can just, like, it does have a little, it's not like yeasty or earthy. It's very clean, it's very pretty, but it has this like sort of savory, like almost like bready sort of thing in the mid palate, in the finish of it. But boy, it's gorgeous. It's a perfect thing to drink on a summer afternoon after a run. So I'm really glad that I remembered, that I thought of this. It's like an old favorite, sort of legendary natural sparkling wine. And it's generally under $20. So there, Caneva da Nani. Thanks a lot. Have a lovely Saturday afternoon. Bye.